Hey guys, Angry Beast here, bringing you some free-for-all gameplay on the map rundown using my FAMAS with a red dot sight and the AA-12 with no attachment as my secondary weapon. And in this video, I want to talk about how to win free-for-all. Now, a lot of people are going to say this is boring gameplay, this is camping. Well, yes, it's a defensive gameplay. Now, first of which, the FAMAS is a defensive weapon. It's a 3-round burst assault rifle that is meant to be used at medium to long range. It is not as effective up close as other assault rifles like the To 21, the Scar H, ACR, or M4. It just is what it is, and this weapon really shouldn't be used from a long range scenario. But what I am doing in this game is I am trying to play somewhat aggressive defensive is what I say. I'm patrolling an area, but I'm not afraid to go out of this corner here. I'm basically trying to control this corner of the map, and I'll move around to kill the people who enter my corner of the map. Why I didn't move here is a guy shot his sniper rifle right at the stairway, and I wasn't sure where he had his line of sight from, so I was just trying to listen for him and figure out where he was before I rushed him and tried to attack him. Now, when you're playing free-for-all, the number one most important thing is claymores. Claymores are something that are invaluable in a free-for-all setup because they give you that extra warning if they don't kill your target of where your enemy opponent is. And without a claymore, you can get easily snuck up on by a guy using ninja. In this game, you either use ninja to defend against people using headsets, or use a sit rep to defend against claymores. There's not both. So I like to use ninja personally because I don't run too much in a free-for-all. It's best to have your opponents come to you and play off the revenge spawns in the game. That's what free-for-all is designed around. It's designed around one person dominating other people, the other people getting mad, and everyone just chasing the same person. My kill streaks in this game are the Predator Missile, the Harrier, and the Pavlo. One of the best kill streaks you can use for a free-for-all setup, simply because your Predator will get you to your Harrier about 10% of the time in a free-for-all. It's not going to happen that often. But your Harrier will almost always get you your Pavlo, and your Pavlo can get anywhere from 5 to 10 kills. Unfortunately, I got shot down there in the same shot as my Harrier. That's why you always try to wait until one's gone before you call any other. I thought the guy had already shot down my Harrier, which was a mistake on my part. But, you know, you live and you learn, and we'll move on. As for secondary weapons in a free-for-all, you definitely want a close-range backup if you're using a longer-range weapon like the FAMAS or M16, because what they're designed for is medium to long range, and trying to use them in close quarters is suicide. Well, yes, they can be effective with their 2-hit kills up close. They're definitely best to use at a distance, and that's what I try to use it for in this game. This is about as close as I want to get with this gun. Any closer, and this gun's just going to lose its effectiveness. So definitely try and keep your engagements to your advantage. Right there is a little too close. I was able to snap on a target and kill him, but had I missed that first burst, I would have gotten either commando lunged or I would have gotten shot down, which is unfortunate, but that's how they balance the weapons. There's weapons that are good at close, and there's weapons that are good at long range, and I think this game did a great job of that. Now, headset is very important in a free-for-all. Not as important as in a 1v1 or a search and destroy setup, but it still gives you a huge advantage over your opponents, and especially when you got multiple opponents coming at you, you can guess which ones are coming closer. You can take the right action for the right situation. Now, the only real thing that a headset does in a free-for-all situation is lets you know when to switch to your secondary weapon. It doesn't do that much else. It doesn't give you perfect echolocation like many people think, and it doesn't give me like, oh, I know exactly where you are across the map, and I can't hear people past, I believe the distance is 30 feet. If you're 10 meters away from me, which is quite a small distance in Call of Duty, because Call of Duty units are smaller than most. I can actually make a video showing how far away you can hear people, but let's just say, for a reference point, 10 meters. You can hear people 10 meters away, and if you're greater than 10 meters, you're completely silent to me. So unless you're coming at me, the headset gives me no advantage. The only thing a headset gives me is to tell me when I'm being flanked, and it's easily countered in this game. There's no counter advantage in this game. It's a fact. As far as using guns in the free-for-all is concerned, the To is a very good option, as well as the FAMAS. They're two of the best all-around weapons in the category, but I think that the FAMAS takes the cake is the best for free-for-all setup, because there's more secondary weapons that you can leverage that are better at close range as far as long range. The only real long-range secondary that I can think of is the AT4 and maybe the M93 Rafika, and the AT4 just suffers from a terrible clip size, so I like to use an AA-12 or a shotgun when I use my FAMAS, and ooh, nice one burst through the car there. As far as attachments go, the red dot sight's always a good option on any weapon. You really can't go wrong unless you're using it on the F2000, and then in that case, maybe you go with the holographic or something, but I would really suggest the silencers not being used in free-for-all. They don't give you that much advantage, and it takes away from the whole idea of a revenge kill system, because 90% of people aren't going to watch the kill cam, and if they don't know where they're getting shot from, they'll skip the kill cam and they won't come back for you for more. And that's how you win a free-for-all, is by having your opponents get mad at you and constantly rush at you. And as they get madder and madder, what'll happen is their accuracy and their aim will get worse and worse, and they'll be relying more and more on luck. Well, you can sit back and rely on your gun skill to pick them off from a distance, and that's how free for all should be played. It shouldn't be played as a running around crazy with the ACR or a MP5K. While you can be successful, you can get the 1 in every 10 game out of that. I think that this is the most consistent and effective way to play free for all. When I play free for all, I don't play to joke around like a lot of people do with their snipers and their quick scoping. I play to win. That's just how I play in free for all. If I want to mess around, I'll jump into a ground war domination, and I won't play the objective. I'll just run around quick scoping or do whatever I want to do, because I know that in ground war domination, it's not as reliant upon my skills to win the game, and I can most of the time rely on my teammates to win the game for me, which of course doesn't always happen, but I can sometimes rely on my teammates to get the kills and for me. But I'm not afraid to switch up my class at any point in any game. A lot of people have the misnomer that when a commentator goes into a game, that they're just using that class and they're just using it because they have to use it. No, I use it because I like this class, and I'll use weapons like the M16 in Modern Warfare 3 because I like the weapon. I'm not using it to get a gameplay with it, and I'm willing to switch up my classes at any point in the game, and so is any other commentator. But when a setup is working for you, then there's no real reason to switch up. And I think that that's something that's been misconstrued in the Call of Duty community. Is the fact that commentators are just normal players. They have 10 classes just like you, and they will switch up their class if they need to. They're not just using weapons for gameplays. They're using weapons for situations. Now, other than weapons like the Uzi and the F2000, which are just troll guns, really, you'll find that people just use weapons that they like and weapons that they'll do good with. And in this game, it just happens to be the weapons that I like are the M16 and the FAMAS. They just are effective weapons at the medium to long range, and that's how I like to play this game. Because there's so many one-man army noob-tubers in a lot of the game modes like TDM or Domination, I think it's more effective to try and control your game at a longer range and to out gunplay the opponent, because it's difficult to noob tube at a longer range because you have to take in that trajectory into account, which even with a weapon that's as powerful as a grenade launcher, is difficult to do. The ballistic knife is the same way. Ballistic knife is very hard to use at a longer range because it travels slow and it has a really, really long trajectory. But I hope you guys enjoyed. It ends up being a 30-3 with the FAMAS. Pretty nice score, and that's how I like to play free-for-all. I like to win, and I like to do it consistently. I'm Angry Beast, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys in my next video.